Welcome to our first part of our theoretical coverage. And here I am going to start to talk with you about the very main line. I mean, generally in courses of chess openings, let's just make the normal moves. Yes, after queen takes d4, this is our main initial position. Generally in the courses of chess, it is pretty normal that the author starts with less frequent lines and slowly increases the difficulty. I prefer to do the reverse thing. I mean, to start with the most annoying lines, with the most interesting ones, the ones that really, I mean, the ones that really you need to know because it will happen like 9 of 10 out of 10 games. So at first you study these, and only after that you will start to study the less critical variations. Why I am doing that? I mean, in the annotations, I think I give let's say a better answer to this question, but it is important also to mention that if you had no knowledge about the main variations, it is difficult to compare, for example, why I consider the move a6 inferior these days, or the move bishop d7. You will know in a few videos that I consider both of those moves a little bit weak, but it is not possible to explain why if you had no idea about the, let's say, the main let's say the main opening, the main lines of this opening, because the line bishop d7 or a6 is not that great because loses a few tempos compared to the main lines. But how you can understand this if you have no knowledge about the main lines? So we really need to start with knight c6, and after this, after study all the problems arising after knight c6, you finally can go back and with with confidence you can look at this and say, okay, this a6 and this bishop d7 move don't help nothing. But until there, we had to fight against the main move, that is knight c6. After knight c6, our choice is queen d3. This move is our new thing, let's say. Also possible is the move queen e3. I played this move, like lots of times already, even in classical chess. But I start to dislike how popular this move starts to be. People start to prepare against this queen e3, and there are certain places there I think white is lacking ideas these days. But this move queen d3 is really new, and the idea is, as I already explained for you in the introduction, is to play knight c3, knight d5, and bishop e2, and with this queen on d3, this queen on d3 is helping to protect the d5 square. This against the setup with g6, that is the main one. Because if your opponent go for e6, then I had another suggestion to you, that is to play bishop f5, bishop f4, and long castle, because of course you can't play knight d5 anymore, so you had to do something else. And also in this line, the queen on d3 proves to be well placed to attack the d6 pawn. So he had to choose between some setups here, if he go for g6 or e6, and he had another alternative, that is bishop g4. We will talk about all these moves during our studies, but first let's start with the main move g6. After g6, I suggest the move bishop e2, followed by knight d5 directly. Also possible is to play like this and knight d5 later. This is possible, but I slightly prefer this one. Point being that after this, and yes, and knight b4, we had this check on b5. So if you go castles first, your opponent can consider to take. After take, your opponent can consider this thing. I mean, it is not great at all, but it is something that you should know, and it is pretty strange variation. This knight b4. In any case, if you can avoid this, I see no point in allow such things. So knight d5 looks more, restricts a bit black's options. Yes, and here, of course, main move is castles, and here I propose c3 to restrict the bishop on g7. This pawn on c3 helps to restrict this piece, and also to kill the b4 square for black knight. So this move c3 is perfect to do all these things, and you can castles in the next move. After this, knight d7 is main move, and we will analyze it really deeply in the next video. And please check the files, because the files, the annotations, I go very deep there, analyzing all the options, all the lines, and just to explain for you something, it took for me like several days to make the annotations of this course. The video part is much more, is more fluid. I can do it in a few hours, but the analysis, I really go really deep in some places to share all my knowledge, to talk about the structures, the annotations really worth to check, and in the videos I will give you the directions and also to summarize certain things. So knight d7 is by far a better move, and knight takes d5 is pretty, it's not a good move at all, but it is very normal and popular. But the problem is that after this, yes, and let's say knight e5 takes and castles, it just transposes to the lines we are going to analyze in a few minutes. After bishop f5, queen d1, this is literally a transposition to this. Takes c3, castles and castles. This is just a transposition. So this knight takes d5 is possible because this knight on d5 is there annoying the black pieces, and your opponent can start to think, well, this knight is so annoying, let me just take this piece and hope for the best. Okay, he can do that, and he will arrive here. And after all of this, he can even win a tempo with bishop f5. Queen d1 displays this square for the queen is excellent. You are preparing bishop e3 and queen d2, and there's no other square as flexible as this one. I check the games positions like similar than this one. Some players fails to understand that queen d1 is such a good move. But let me share with you something that I learned a long time ago after studying Leonid Stein games rather more deeply. I remember that after studying Leonid Stein for lots of months, I start to see a pattern that I never saw in other players. That is the reluctance of Stein to move the queen in general. He loves to keep his queen on d8 with black and the queen on d1 with white. And when he moves the queen, is really to put the piece in a great square, what I learned by this pattern. He never talk about it because Stein don't wrote a book or something. But when I see this pattern, I start to think and comprehend something. That is, the queen in the initial square is already pretty decently placed, you know, and you only had to find other squares if really happens to appear a great square for your queen, because if not, I mean, d1 is perfect. If you try to do something best than this, and you don't go for some queen b5, your queen get out of play there, and after moves like let's say queen c7, a6, b5, all you are going to win here is to lose a few tempos with your queen without any kind of reason, you know, and this is not great at all. So so queen d1 is much better. And here I want to continue the analysis a bit, because after queen b6, maybe the position don't look so clear. But here I like very much the idea of just use your advantage in space to gain more space on the queen side with a4. The idea is to play a5, of course, and after a5, this great move rook a3 is pretty strong. Yes, because rook b3 comes, and with it, we can finish our development with bishop e3. And if your opponent try to attack your pawn on a4 in such a way, you can just play this and take with rook. And not to my surprise, white is almost winning here, but this is instructive, because I don't know if this is so clear to I mean, to everyone that this position is so bad. But basically, bishop b6 is coming, queen b3 is coming, and such positions are so passive and so bad that is better to, I mean, to lose some pawn a few moves ago for some kind of counterplay, because this is very passive and very bad. And I really, I really dislike black position. I mean, this is not even about dislike or like. Black's position is almost collapsing, not only according to me, but according to computer. This is like more than one according to computer, but in practical terms is even worse. I mean, I would feel lost here. I mean, totally lost, dead lost. And because there's no counterplay, this bishop on e5 looks kind of decent, but he's doing basically nothing. And this queen side is so exposed. So this entire line, and of course, these things are happening because our pawn on d5 are restricting black pieces. For this reason, this move knight takes d5 looks kind of normal. You know, you annoying the knight and take the knight. But after ed, okay, this pawn on d5 is really there to stay. And you will have serious issues to fight against it. So, I mean, not only here, but also here, it is basically the same, and the evaluation is the same thing. Black is worse, and probably, I mean, if he just continues to play normally, he will end up in terrible positions pretty soon. I can guarantee about that. So yes, and it is important to understand that there is no way to fight with this knight still, because if you try something like that after knight takes f6, I mean, this position looks horrible with rook d1 coming. This is not even a line. Or this almost loses after bishop, no, literally loses after bishop g5. I was thinking that maybe this thing can help to not, I mean, you don't need to resign because you had this move 95, because after something like this, your queen are getting there. But of course, at minimum, you just take and play bishop e7 and grab the d6 pawn with a winning position. So yes, so this e6 is pretty terrible. So the basically, you had two ways to fight against this knight. One is to take on d5 and to enter in such bad scenarios, or at least very unpleasant ones. Or you go for knight d7 and try to play e6, but not allowing this knight takes f6. These are the two options. You can choose between one or two. The option A A or B, but the move knight d7 is so much better, you know. It is really much better. But black has to be precise. It is not only about to play knight d7, but also to follow up correctly and in a way that only a few players managed to do until now. And even then, we are not worried at all. I had new ideas in some important variations, and I am pretty sure you will like it. But okay, let the future to the future, so to speak, because this is something to say in the next. This line with 97 and so on are topics for the next few videos, the next video. But okay, with this I conclude this section. Knight takes d5 and knight e5 is possible, and I mean it is pretty solid. I mean black is not lost or anything, but the positions are pretty bad and pretty passive, and in general this is what we are hoping for. I mean, to play such structures. And in the next video, we are going to talk about a more hard thing, that is this move knight d7. And there we had a lot to talk. So I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.